I'm actually really excited about today's video, which is 7 things you can do to heal from the past. Now, it's my belief that we've all to some degree or other experienced some form of trauma. And by trauma, I mean something that has caused you to choose to behave differently towards either yourself or towards other people. Life continues to happen, right? We've all experienced these kinds of challenges, but there are things that you can do to heal from the past, and today I want to share a few of those with you. If you don't already know me, my name's Ayodele Kolade and I'm the creator of the EMC² Personal Mastery Transformation Programme. Welcome to my channel. The truth is that 100% of us will experience trauma of some kind in our lives. There's a statistic that says that 75% of people who do experience a traumatic event will be able to move through that experience and actually go on to lead lives that are seemingly unaffected by the experience that they went through. That does though leave 25% who find themselves stuck, unable to move past what's happened. And one of the things that I do is I assist people in moving through those life experiences, letting go of the pain from the past so that they can lead full, happy and abundant lives. Now, there's this saying that time heals. Now, time doesn't heal all. Of course, time has its place. It allows the mind and body to come to terms with adjusting to the newness of the situation of life following a traumatic event. But time doesn't heal all. See, only using time to heal allows the event, the trauma, the experience to actually embed itself more deeply in the unconscious part of you, which then goes on to actually impact on the way that you behave and operate in the world. Through years of working in psychiatric care and in my own practice, what I do know that heals is a number of very important things, some of which you'll be able to do on your own and some of which I'd recommend getting support with, and I'd like to share some of those with you today. Number 1 is going inward. Now, this can be a painful experience because you're likely to uncover emotions, some painful emotions about what happened in the past. And I would recommend getting some help and support with this, but you can start with journaling, which will help you to understand yourself more deeply, understand why you feel the way that you feel, and just through simply exploring your feelings, it can be quite a cathartic experience. Now, you may think, well, I'm not going to know what to write when I journal, but if you go out and buy yourself a nice journal and sit down and make sure that when you do sit down to write, you're present with yourself or you've got a quiet space to do that. And just remember that you're not writing for anybody else's eyes, you're writing for you, you're writing to just get what's going on inside of your heart, inside of your head, out on the paper, so that you can get some clarity, some mental space. Simply by doing that can help you get some headspace and some clarity around how you're feeling, why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, so that you can start to have more clarity and mental capacity and mental space to actually do something about it and change the way that you're feeling. Now, if you do find that through this process you do uncover very painful emotions and you find it less easy to actually deal with that, I recommend you reaching out for help and support, because it is possible to actually move through those emotions, and so that you don't feel that you're stuck there and actually, having to carry around that baggage and that pain all of the time. Number 2 is loving yourself. And loving yourself is such an important thing to do when you've been through a traumatic experience, but it also may be something that's less easy and very challenging because of what you went through. Now, loving yourself isn't just candles, bubble baths and pedicures, which are really important and lovely to do too. But loving yourself might look like inner child work, which is definitely for the brave and something that should be done ideally with support. But loving yourself is about learning your worth and learning that you are deserving and worthy of love. It's about accepting yourself and understanding perhaps that there are things about your life that you'd like to change and perhaps doing something about them. It's about realising that you've done your best up until now with the resources that you had available, and doing other things that you learn are actually going to help and assist you in your development and your growth, and assist you in overcoming the challenges that you've been through. It's also, in addition to accepting yourself, it's about learning what your likes, wants and needs are, and doing more of the things that nurture and nourish your soul. Number 3 is accepting ourselves and believing that what happened wasn't our fault. Now, I touched on this in the previous point, but I do think that it deserves a point all of its own, because it's such an important thing, especially if the trauma that you experienced happened in childhood. We can spend so much of our lives and our energy beating ourselves up for what happened when it was completely out of our control, which is definitely the case when it comes to trauma that we experience in childhood. Reprogramming and reframing our thinking is going to help us to believe that what happened wasn't our fault. Even if other people have told you that it was, you may have come to believe that. But reframing and reprogramming your thinking is going to help to shift that and get rid of that way of thinking. The more that you can start taking responsibility for wanting to feel and think differently, the more that you're going to be able to start taking action, doing things that will change that. And starting to think differently is actually going to help with that process for sure. Number 4 is listening to your needs. Now, this relates back to the point I made about self-love, but again, I think it deserves a point all of its own. Sometimes this can be less easy because our mind might be so noisy and filled with the thoughts and words of other people, especially if you've heard mean and nasty things said to yourself about yourself by other people. This can tend to be something that we then play on a loop without actually even realising it. In order to understand what our needs are, it's important that we quieten this internal chatter so that we can actually get clear and get rid of that mental clutter and get clear on what our needs are so that we can start paying attention to them and start taking action on them. And I've actually created a really beautiful and enchanting free audio program which will help to quiet, minimise and eliminate the mental chatter, the negative internal self-talk that you may be experiencing. I'm going to leave a link to that in the description below the video, and if you're watching this on Instagram, I will leave the link in my bio. So do check that out because that is going to really help to eliminate, quiet and, like I said, minimise that negative self-talk so that you can get clear about what your needs are so that you can start listening to them and start taking action on them. Number 5 is addressing your emotional and trauma history, and I believe that this is something that should be done with the support of a professional. Now, journaling is a way of getting that process started, of kind of understanding why you feel the way that you feel, what exactly is it that you're feeling, and exploring yourself a bit more deeply, exploring your feelings more deeply. When it comes to actually addressing your emotional and trauma history, it's more about processing those emotions and allowing yourself to be free from the pain of the past, working through them. Now, to start off with, it may be quite a painful process, but the right person, hiring the right person, finding the right person is going to assist you, who has the expertise and experience, will be able to assist you in moving through those painful emotions and moving through the pain from the past so that you can actually be free from it. So I recommend that you work through that with somebody, and the right person will be able to help you in the way that you need them to. Number 6 is to follow your intuition. Learning how to connect and communicate with your unconscious mind is probably one of the most important things you can do when it comes to healing from trauma, healing from pain in the past, which in my model of the world is also the same as listening to and following your intuition, connecting with that part of you from where your intuition comes from. Your unconscious mind is responsible for between 95 and 97% of your behaviour, your functioning. It's the part of you that is aware of the feeling of the backs of your legs on the chair that you're sitting on, or perhaps the feeling of the floor underneath your feet. It's the part of you that is aware of the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe in and breathe out. And it's the part of you that's listening and taking absolutely everything in. You can hear what you're hearing. It's listening to what you're listening to as you're listening. It's recording and taking everything in. And if you learn how to connect with this part of you, and you understand and learn what it wants you to understand about the experiences that you've been through, your ability to heal and recover from what happened will open up in new and remarkable ways that you have never even believed were possible before. So following your intuition, for me, begins with tapping into, listening to, learning how to communicate with your unconscious mind, the part of you from which your intuition comes. Number 7 is to get the right support. I've mentioned it a couple of times, and I know there are definitely things that you can do by yourself that are going to assist you in starting that process of healing from the things that you've been through. There are also many things that I haven't mentioned that would be able to help you and move through those experiences also. But I'm not going to hesitate to say that the most effective way of actually healing from the past is to hire somebody with the right experience and expertise that's going to help you to be free from the things that you've experienced, so that you can live a happy, full and abundant life and be free of that baggage, so that you no longer have to carry it around. That's my speciality, that's what I do. I work with people just like you who have experienced trauma, who have been through painful experiences in the past and want to be free of them. So if you're interested in learning more, why not schedule a free call with me? I'll leave the link to that in the description below. Set up a time to talk and we'll discuss how, working with me, you'll be able to actually have the life that deep down you know that you deserve to have. So thank you for watching. I hope that this has given you some food for thought, some things that you can do to assist yourself in moving through the experiences that you've been through. And like I said, 100% of people will go through some form of trauma in their life, and we all experience it. We all go through challenging times and tough times. So I would love it if you would share this video with at least 3 people that you can think of that need to hear this too. Do like the video if you like it, and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to sharing more with you really, really soon. Okay, bye for now.